Hey guys, welcome back to New World Carpentry Solutions. And for those who have been following along with me throughout this mahogany door build, you guys might have noticed that it's been sitting in the back of the garage for the last few builds. One of the reasons is the client had a few health issues, so I couldn't go to install it. But now I'm going to go install it, and I actually noticed a small mistake that I made with the weather stripping. We're going to take care of that here in this video. The issue ended up being how I actually attached the t-astragal molding. This piece is pretty much glued and doweled directly flush to this door. So whenever I added my weather stripping here on the back side of the door, this piece, I didn't allow for a margin for the weather stripping itself to compress. So what happens is whenever you close the doors together, I'm sure you guys on the back side, but what happens is if I align this door to be flush with the back side of the door jamb, this door can't come up flush enough to be perfectly in line. So this molding right here needs to be milled off and then add probably about 3/8 of an inch margin, so that way the doors can come up together perfectly flush. I'm gonna show you guys how that looks on the back side and what we're aiming to address. So what ends up happening, I do have, let me open that door first. I haven't mounted these in, but these t-astragal locks that are actually going to wedge inside the top side of the door jamb. So the problem is, if I get this set to where it's perfectly aligned with the door jamb here, flush all the way across the top, this door cannot get to flush. I can get it about there, but I still have a finger, you know, maybe like a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch up top that cannot become flush because I don't have the margin necessary left on the t-astragal molding. I was looking at the various ways to try to take care of it, but after toiling around with it in the middle of the night trying to get it ready for install, I have decided that I need to actually plane off the molding and remake another one. So you guys are going to come along with me for that process, and we want to get that done and also install all the glass and all the moldings on the inside. So if you guys are ready for that, tune in. So the first step to actually getting this door taken care of is a process that you guys have seen me do a lot, which is struggle to get this door on and off the door jamb. Throughout this door build, this door has came off several times. Hopefully this will be the last few trips for this door coming on and off the jamb until it makes its final home inside the client's house. So what I do though, because this door is sitting on like a plywood bracing that kind of keeps the whole jamb upright, I do have to keep one door closed to make sure it doesn't tip backwards. And then I have an air shim and some blocks of wood set up right here. I tighten up on the air shim, so that way as I loosen the hinges, the door doesn't just fall over. The air shim has that jacked up. You always want to start with the bottom hinge first. If you take the top hinge off, the door will have a tendency to fall this way. So if I loosen up the bottom hinge, the weight's going to be pushing the hinge back into the mortise, which will keep the door itself from falling over. I only have 4 screws holding this door on for right now. And of course, one falls. All right, Harry, you can come give me a hand. I showed you guys the method for removing the door by yourself, but I'm not going to move it by myself. So we're going to get this slid out the way, and then we're going to catch back up to you guys over at the workbench. All right guys, so this is the setup that I'm gonna run with. I will let you know I'm not doing this just because I want to. This is a little nerve-wracking because the door is essentially done. But I don't want to give a product that is not finalized to the client, so we're gonna take care of this issue. I can't really remember the whole entire phrase, but you can tell a carpenter, you can tell how good a carpenter is by how they fix their mistakes. So we're going to pull this off and have this all looking flawless like this never came off. But actually before I do that, let me grab a tape measure and write down a few dimensions off of this. That's just over 5/8 from the top side of the door. I believe I had it hang past the bottom of the door. About 1/4 inch. 1/4 at the bottom, 5/8 at the top. And this is 79 5/8 light. I'm actually gonna stop and write that down on the marker board. And let me go in and get the overhang. We're looking at 11/16. And this molding is overall 2 inches wide. Maybe 2 1/16. So you write this over on the marker board so we don't forget it. I'm gonna leave myself a little generic note over here on the side. We're gonna say trapezoidal piece of molding. From the edge of the door, this is 11/16. Overall, it was 1/4 past the bottom and 5/8 from the top. One thing I don't remember was that it was 2 inches wide. Was the overall length. Let's grab that again. I believe it was 79 5/8, but I believe everybody who's in construction knows how that is. You pull the measurement and you forget it when you walk away. And yeah, 79 5/8 light. (79 5/8 light). All right. So everybody watching, I want you guys to cross your fingers with me as we go into probably one of the scariest processes I've had to do to date. I have the tools, the know-how, and the gumption to get it done. So let's just dive in. We're gonna start off with light passes with the planer and see how this goes. Actually, I think I should probably roll up some of this hose. Actually, no, I'll start over my shoulder. You want to keep the front end flat on the surface, and as you get toward the end, you want to lift up to make sure you don't gouge your work. But you guys get the gist of what we're trying to do. The goal is to take this molding and get it completely gone. Once we get it low enough, I'm gonna come back and finish it up with the sander, and then I can actually go about making a new molding that then bumps off probably about 3/8 of an inch, and then has this T-shaped molding. That way, I actually have enough bearing and clearance for my weather stripping piece that's going to be receiving on this side. Whew. Alright, I wanted to show you guys about how far I've gotten. You know, there's not much left, not much material left. So we're going to catch these last few light passes before we switch to the sander. I'm probably going to take like 2 or 3 more passes at the depth that it's at now, then dial it back as we get closer to the actual door surface. probably will be hitting some of those dowels that I used to put this together pretty soon. Alright, let's get these last few passes done. Go rougher than 100. If it's like it's taking a while, I can step down. But again, I also do want to do this fairly slowly. I am also less puckered now that we actually have that molding removed. Still kind of scary because, you know, with the installs tomorrow, I have to make up another T-bar and still install all the glass tonight. But one stress relieved. What I'm going to do now is get this sanded off. We're going to make up the T-bar, and then we're going to go ahead and test fit the doors again, make sure they fit. And if they both fit, then both of the doors are going to come out of the door jamb, and then we're going to start making the glass moldings. Hey guys, funny story. It's actually right after I started sanding that I started to realize that my Festo sander is kicking up a lot more dust than usual. I actually clogged the holes while using that while using the hand plane. So I actually have a fight to get all that unclogged, and I don't show that on video, but it was a pain in the ass. If you guys have enjoyed though, let me know down in the comments, leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.